Good morning, everyone. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the program. Got this really cool new shirt on today. 0% liberal. Awesome shirt.
The Steve Kane 2022 MAGA Cruise is a go. Leaving January 21st on the Celebrity Equinox out of Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, for 9 nights cruising the Caribbean. We will stop in Grand Cayman Island, Bonaire, Curacao, and Aruba. Reserve your cabin right now and call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779.
Here we go.
Is brought to you by Attorney Mary Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888.
I'll put a link in the chat in a second here. Welcome, everyone. Yes, it is Monday morning. We are back here live. It is June 7th, 2021. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. What a great weekend. How could it not be a great weekend when you have President Trump giving a speech? Did you all catch President Trump's speech Saturday night? I am sure that you did. It was a spectacular speech. And he also made a second huge announcement, which I'm going to get to in a little bit on the program, which is one that I am very happy about. But it was nice to see President Trump in North Carolina. And I was watching on Right Side Broadcasting on Saturday, and they were going through the line, interviewing the people lined up to get into this event. And it was a special ticketed event with the North Carolina Republican Party, so everyone was in their Sunday best. And they were interviewing them, and they were all MAGA, all Trump people, all of them, which was amazing. Tim, thanks for that super chat. Everyone thank Tim. And it made me feel really good. I was a little nervous at first because, you know, we've got these Republican establishment snakes out there trying to undermine President Trump and undermine MAGA. And when I turned on Right Side Broadcasting, they showed the line, a couple thousand people in line. I mean, it was a full house in the venue. But I didn't see a lot of MAGA hats. I'm like, oh no, what's going on here? Has the Republican establishment done us in? I don't see too many MAGA hats. But as Right Side Broadcasting went down the line and started interviewing them, they weren't wearing MAGA hats because it was like a dressy event, and the women are doing their hair, and they didn't want to mess up their hair because they're dressed up in their Sunday clothes, and the men, their wives, wanted them to look spectacular. But I don't care. If I'm wearing a suit and tie, I'm still wearing a MAGA hat if I'm going to see our president. But they were all Trump people, which was amazing. And I imagine if you were a Republican establishment snake watching that on Right Side Broadcasting, it had to make you physically ill, wouldn't you think? They would be so upset that MAGA was still strong. Now, the media, the mainstream media did not carry President Trump's speech. It was not even carried on Fox News Channel. They had Jesse Waters on. It was carried on Newsmax, which is, I watched it on Newsmax and Right Side Broadcasting. I watched it on both. And I know that One American News carried it as well. But Fox News didn't carry it. CNN and MSNBC, of course they didn't carry it. And what they're going to try to do is what we know they're going to try to do. They're going to try to make him a non-event. They think that if they don't carry it, it's as if it didn't happen. But what Fox News did on Saturday night was a huge error on their part. I mean, they didn't learn their lesson from everyone going to Newsmax back in November, and now here they are again, up to their old tricks. So, MAGA people, which are the majority of the Fox News viewers and the rest of us, we don't want to watch Jesse Waters or Bongino when Trump's talking, or even Judge Jeanine. We love Judge Jeanine, but come on. Trump's talking, So they drove us to Newsmax. They drove a lot of you that have it to One American News and to Right Side Broadcasting on the YouTube. And Right Side Broadcasting had so many people watching. Oh, my goodness. I think they broke a record on that Saturday night speech by President Trump. So, as much as Fox News has worked to try to bring back the audience and make some changes and drop Juan Williams from the 5 and all this stuff, you still got Paul Ryan on their board of directors, and they're up to their old tricks. But I'd certainly like to hear your thoughts on the Trump speech Saturday night. I'll share mine as the day goes on, but you're certainly welcome to call in 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. And Kamala going to Guatemala, Kamala Harris. This is just ridiculous. Latin America is 100% corrupt. There's no doubt about it. There's I don't know what it is. I went to South America. I've been to South America, and I could not believe how bad it was. I mean, poverty-wise, it's just corrupt. There's no middle class. There's the rich and there's the poor. The middle class are rich. They really don't have a middle class in these places, and it's corrupt. That's sadly Latin American culture is that, just corruption. The only place in Latin America that is not the third world is Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. It's part of the United States. But even then, look at how corrupt the government in Puerto Rico is. The mayors and the governors and all that down there. That's just the way it is. So, Kamala Harris going down to a bunch of corrupt government officials in Guatemala with a big old checkbook that has an unlimited account balance in it is just stupid. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that the Democrats just can't admit that Trump was right, that the completing the wall and doing all that, that's the way to go. You can write them checks all day and put up new street lights and all this stuff, and it's still going to be happening because that's Latin America for you. Giving money to Guatemala it's like the old days of Arafat and the PLO. Remember, the United States and other countries giving unlimited amounts of money to the PLO for their struggle. And remember, Arafat's family lived the life of multimillionaires in Paris. Remember those days? That's what it's like giving money to Guatemala. And this is a question that I would like to ask you. And this is a serious question. Very serious question. I posed this on YouTube early this morning, made a little YouTube short, put this on YouTube. But I'm going to ask you guys, and this is a very serious question. Which government is more corrupt? The government of Guatemala or the government of the United States led by Biden and Kamala? I would say our government is much more corrupt. Much more corrupt would be my opinion, and we can get into the details of that as the show goes on. But what a joke, her going to Guatemala! What a freaking joke! Air Force 2 took off and had to return to. I still call it Andrews Air Force Base. I know it's Joint Base Andrews, whatever. I still call it Andrews Air Force Base. But Air Force 2 took off and then had to return to Joint Base Andrews. Do you know why Air Force 2 took off and had to turn around and land again? Do you know why? I know why. And you haven't heard this anywhere else. I was watching this when it happened yesterday, and I'm like, well, they're not going to tell us why, and I know why. You know why? They took off and then had to return and land again, and then they left. The reason that they returned is because Kamala forgot the checkbook, so she could write out the check to Guatemala. So they had to fly back to Joint Base Andrews to pick up the checkbook. That's all. That's what happened. Not surprising, is it? All right, let's take a call or two before the first break. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Really good, Wisconsin Gary, so I'm going to kind of say this.
Uh-oh. He was just about to say it and his cell cut out.
Yeah, see, that's what happens when I'm in a bad area. You still hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
But I did listen to President Trump, and he made a lot of very good points throughout everything that happened. But, like, at the end of his speech, RFBN, the ratings for apps and everything, which is really good because I happen to believe that Paul Ryan, in my opinion, made that choice not to cover that because if you remember not too long ago, he made a speech saying that, saying that Trumpism died, but it's just only getting stronger.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you, yeah, Right Side Broadcasting, they have an app now, and I did download the app. It's free. And they're good people. I know some of the people at Right Side Broadcasting. I had Mike Nificent on my boat parade video from Right Side Broadcasting last week, and they're good people. But to me the biggest story out of Trump's speech, which by the way is not one of his rallies. We still have 4 rallies coming up. That was a separate event. The biggest story, I think, out of Trump's speech was Fox News making a decision to not carry it.
I think that was a wrong mistake, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
huge mistake.
Well, Fox is making a lot of changes trying to bring the MAGA people back, right? They've done some lineup changes, got rid of a few people, and then they pull some crap like this. Everyone, come on.
It's only going to hurt them more in the long run. The more they keep trying to do this, trying to basically what you can say cancel culture President Trump, and it's going to be the biggest decision they ever did in their rating, and it's just going to get. They're going to feel it sooner or later just by the ratings.
Well, it's amazing to me that they didn't learn. About Newsmax being out there. And Newsmax, they don't even have really much of a staff. They carried the speech, and I thought that was awesome. And they just didn't learn. And I know that Trump people, if people have a remote control, they just flip until they find it or go on YouTube to Right Side Broadcasting. It was a really stupid decision on Fox News, and they showed their hand.
You think that Fox would have learned from the first time when their ratings went down?
Mm-hmm.
And, like you said in a video about being fair and balanced or how that saying went, they kind of lost that, because I always remembered watching them on TV, and I would always say that in my head. But ever since they kind of got all these other people in there, they kind of lost that figured it.
Well, it used to be their official tagline used to be fair, balanced, and unafraid. And a few years back, they officially dropped that, and they even made an announcement. I don't know what their tagline is now. We suck. I don't know what their tagline is now, but they really that was a major screw up. All right, Wisconsin Gary, appreciate the call. Oh, big news, and I knew this was coming quite some time ago. I had been tipped off to this. And I couldn't share it with you until it was officially announced. But you've heard the story that Royal Caribbean is not requiring vaccines to go on their cruises. And Royal Caribbean is our cruise line, Celebrity Cruises, that we do the Steve Kane cruises on. Celebrity is owned by Royal Caribbean. So that means, Ron DeSantis won. So that means not only is the Steve Kane 2022 cruise a go, you don't need to be vaccinated to go. So those of you that were waiting for that, and I know a lot of you were, those of you that were waiting for that, you do not have to be vaccinated to go with us on the Steve Kane cruise, which is in January. So make sure that you join us. All right, we'll take a break and be back. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire.
Good morning, everyone. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe. And everyone in the chat, if you could do me the favor of liking the video, that helps me out a lot. That would be absolutely amazing.
$65. That's a $70 savings.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lowell.
Prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. The Steve Kane 2022 MAGA Cruise is a go. Leaving January 21st on the Celebrity Equinox out of Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, for 9 nights cruising the Caribbean. We will stop in Grand Cayman Island, Bonaire, Curacao, and Aruba. Reserve your cabin right now and call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Attention seniors, Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will make all of your doctor's appointments for you, handle your pharmacy issues, including refills, billing problems. They'll even make sure your prescriptions are filled. They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications, and that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right now. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Online, iwilladvocates.com. Never worry about your health care ever again. Let I Will Advocates handle everything for you. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back. It is Monday. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. And what a great morning it is, because we had our Trump speech on Saturday night. I'm very excited about that. So this is out of Mediaite, which is a left-wing online publication, but that's okay. I read everything. It's okay to read liberal stuff, people. A lot of people, somebody messaged me on social media over the weekend. I posted something from Yahoo News. They said, I'm going to have to stop following you. You're posting this liberal crap. Well, what am I, freaking prom to here? You know, I post articles from liberal and conservative, and I'm serious. I get, I'm going to unfollow you. Well, do it. Okay? I post liberal and conservative articles up on social media, and the reason that I post liberal articles is I read everything, and most of the time it's the liberal articles are absurd, and it's just to see the absurdity of it. So this is from Mediaite. Fox News and CNN both declined to broadcast live former President Donald Trump's speech. Again, this former president thing, I have never referred to any president as former president. Obama, Clinton, Bush, it's always president to me, but they got to make a big deal that it's former president. And Fox News and CNN both declined to broadcast live former President Donald Trump's speech at the North Carolina GOP convention dinner. MSNBC briefly aired footage of the speech, but viewers could not hear what President Trump had to say, as MSNBC correspondent Ali Vitale, is that a guy or a girl? I don't know. As I call it MS-13BC. The president calls them MSDNC. But as MSNBC correspondent Ali Vitale provided commentary speaking over him. CNN Brian Stelter tweeted this. He tweeted this during the thing, during the speech. Fox News is not airing Trump's first speech in months. Fox is sticking with a pre-taped Waters World instead. That's Brian Stelter. I saw a little bit of him yesterday. Oh my goodness, has he gained weight? I saw a little bit of that Jen Psaki interview. This is Brian Stelter, though. This is his tweet. Fox News is not airing Trump's first speech in months. So that tells you right there, Brian Stelter's watching Fox. Why are you watching Fox? You know why? Because they're his friends. That's why. Brian Stelter, so I'll finish up his tweet. Fox News is not airing Trump's first speech in months. Fox is sticking with a pre-taped Waters World instead. Newsmax and One American News are showing Trump live as expected, tweets Brian Stelter. Although CNN did not broadcast the speech, guest David Gergen, a former presidential advisor in multiple administrations, and Amanda Carpenter, a former senior staffer to Senator Ted Cruz, devoted a chunk of time to discuss the newsworthiness of Trump's first speech in months. Asked by CNN's Pamela Brown whether or not she was worried Trump would use the speech to push, his agenda, Carpenter replied, he has, I lost my place here. I'm sorry. I just lost my internet feed and the article just disappeared on me. The whole event, okay, got it now. The whole event feels weird, right? She continued. Yes. He's entering his speech as a diminished, twice impeached, losing president under multiple investigations. Carpenter and Gergen agreed that he appears to be losing power, with Gergen adding that, in his opinion, CNN's decision not to cover the speech live underscored how Trump's relevancy is waning. The fact that CNN is not covering him live tonight with his speech, this is the first time he has been out there in 3 months, Gergen said. Fans are eager to know how he's evolving. CNN decided not to cover it. I think it is exactly the right decision, but it's because he's become less relevant to the future, Gergen said. He spent so much time trying to win arguments about the past, he is now losing the future. See, this is what they think, right? If we don't air it, he's diminished. You know what's diminishing here? The ratings of CNN, Fox, and MSNBC. If any one of those mainstream cable news outlets would have potted up the Trump speech, boom, it would have gone through the roof. Gone through the roof. Because, it would have. Because you got a much better high-definition picture on those channels, and they didn't do it. All they're doing is causing people to flee on a Saturday night. In fact, them sitting around talking about the Trump speech by not carrying it shows that it is newsworthy. I know. Now, they're trying to make a big deal about Trump's pants were a little wrinkled when he came out. They're trying to make a thing. They said, oh, is he wearing his pants backwards? I don't know. I noticed they were wrinkled, but I don't really care. He could walk out there in, a swimsuit, a bikini. I wouldn't care. I want to hear what the man has to say. I thought it was a great speech. I think he touched on a lot of great issues. I think he brought up a lot of new stuff, too. And, it's interesting about Amanda Carpenter and Gergen and Stelter. My wife calls Brian Stelter George Costanza. She thinks he looks like George Costanza from Seinfeld, And even MSNBC with their commentary, it shows they all watched the speech. So my question would be to these people, where did they watch the speech? Were they on Right Side Broadcasting? Were they on Newsmax, One American News? Where were all these people watching the speech? They weren't even watching their own cable news platform because they were watching Trump's speech somewhere else. I tell you, the media will never change what they're doing. This is what it's going to be like for years and years and years. But you know what? President Trump spoke even after the speech. I got a clip here. This is President Trump. He put this message out online. This is not from his speech Saturday night. This is since then. You're just probably hearing this for the first time this morning. Here's President Trump.
I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support you've shown. We're going to take back the Senate, take back the House. We're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think. It's going to be really something special. But the love and the affection and the respect that you've given all of us, it's really important. The Republican Party is stronger than it's ever been, and it's going to be a lot stronger than it is right now. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. Thank you all very much. That support has been so incredible.
Okay, so that's President Trump. That's after the Saturday night speech. So we still have our 4 rallies coming up. I read this morning one's going to be in Georgia. We're going to have a rally in Ohio and one in Florida. And I don't know where the 4th one's going to be. But I think the Georgia one is going to be first based on what I'm reading, although that can change. Oh, man, I tell you. What's going to happen is he's going to do his rallies. They're going to become a weekly event for the next month. And what the news media are going to do after each and every speech is do what they did on Saturday and Sunday. They're going to have endless panels telling you how irrelevant President Trump is. Well, if he's so irrelevant, why do you have panels talking about him the morning after he speaks or during his speech? If he's not relevant, you wouldn't be talking to him, right? Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
This is Tommy at Portland, Oregon.
Hey, Portland, Oregon. What's up?
Hey, man, I love President Trump yesterday. I actually Saturday. Am I right?
Yeah, 2 days ago, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yes, I love your show. I love his speak, and I miss the guy, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It's nice to see him come out again. It was nice to see him. And he made his first endorsement.
Yep. I know that a whole bunch of the fake news, disappointed, and too bad.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, the same thing with Fox News. I disappeared on Fox News. I've been watching Fox News a long time, and all my family gone. We don't watch Fox News anymore.
Well, Fox News became number one because they were talking about what the mainstream media wouldn't, and now they've become mainstream media. Yeah,
I like to watch them every morning, and it's Fox and Friends, but now I don't want to watch it anymore.
Well, you can't watch that because that's on when I'm on the radio.
Yeah, I know. I don't want that, but what I'm saying is that I like I say, I hate this.
Mm-hmm.
Trump. I'll vote for him again. It's hard beaver.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Okay, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. It's 6:30 in the morning. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back after this. I checked the temperature this morning before I left. The high today is going to be almost 90 degrees here in South Florida. The hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioner is just running nonstop, fighting to keep the house cool. A lot of times, the air conditioner can't even keep up with the heat gain. You'll have the temperature set on your house at 74, and you'll look towards the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
Yeah.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radiant barrier in South Florida for 10 years. We did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radiant barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the AC runtime in half, and get a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, with a shingle or tile, shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, even 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling. It heats them up, and it makes your air conditioner work longer, harder, causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp that goes on the underside of the roof deck below the trusses, so there's an air gap.
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everybody in the chat room, if you could like the video, that helps a lot. Make sure you like the video.
It back up out the roof. So it makes your roof function like a white shingle reflective roof. You see those white roofs on people's houses? They put them on because it cuts their electric bill 25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in on the underside of your roof deck. It's like $1 a square foot, and we even got a special. If you spend 2,000 square feet or more, you get an additional $500 off. So it's very reasonable. It's very affordable. This time of year, you're getting it for half price, plus you're getting additional money off. We also do traditional insulation, and we do ductwork. do like the
Tim, $5 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Tim. Brian, can folks on the cruise get off the ships and ports of call without the vaccine? I'm assuming so.
It's getting hot today. It's going to be about 88, 89 degrees here in South Florida. We're not in the hottest heat
Yeah,
of the
in fact,
summer
we're planning.
yet. We will be
The answer to that question, Tim, is yes, because we're planning shore excursions at all the ports of call.
It's hotter and hotter. It's more difficult for his crew to work in the attic. Now it's not quite as hot. They can get the work done faster. Can spend more time in the attic. I want to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatt.
Mark doesn't know what he's talking about.
His number. If you miss this, it's listed at SteveKaneShow.com.
Now, I knew about this quite a while ago, but I couldn't say anything until it was officially announced.
954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at SteveKaneShow.com. Scott will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we are back. I was just reading this terrible story out of New York. Police, it says a brute. Police are searching for a brute who tried to rape a woman on a Midtown Manhattan sidewalk Saturday morning, in broad daylight, mind you. The 27-year-old victim was walking on East 33rd Street near Madison Avenue when the man approached from behind, attacked her at around 7 a.m., according to police. This is in the New York Post I'm reading from. The sicko grabbed the woman by her throat, shoved her against a storefront gate, pulled down his pants, cops said. The suspect tried to rape the woman, but the woman was able to fight back and break free. The suspect fled on foot. The woman suffered a minor cut to her head and was treated, and they got a picture of him. He took his mask off for this, and he's a young black man. You know, I was talking to Steve about this the other day. Flying to New York is so cheap right now. I mean, they got like 1980s prices to fly to. They're almost paying you to fly to New York. And I would so love to go to New York for the weekend with my daughter because it's so cheap. Hotels are cheap, the airfare's cheap, but it's not safe. It's not safe. And this is at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. It's bright out, too. Look at the camera footage. I tweeted this story. And AOC is backing some lady I never heard of who's running for mayor. Some lady running for mayor, I guess a socialist, who's talking about defunding the police. Listen, all cities, all levels of government, states, counties, and the federal government, you don't have to defund anything. There's plenty of money for everything. The government makes the money. They have so much money, they print it up. They have machines that actually make it. But what's being lost more than anything, and you see it in New York, that the crooks have no fear of the police. And people being afraid of the police, afraid of arrest, and these are the types of things that stop crime. And they've lost complete fear of the police. They fear no consequences. And New York City has turned into Escape from New York. It's just not safe. And I don't think it will be for years to come, because you got all these liberal lunatics running for mayor to replace this idiot that's the mayor now. Eating with his mouth open. What a pig de Blasio is. And he's so unself-aware, he doesn't know that eating with your mouth open on a microphone on TV is disgusting. Well, he's a pig on many different levels, but this is disgusting, and it is dangerous. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, it's Carol, Rome, Wisconsin.
Hey, Carol in Wisconsin. What's up?
So, we have Mike Lindell and President on June 12th.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Really awesome. They're coming with Diamond and Silver.
Oh, that's great.
Sheriff David Clark, Brandon House. Doors open at 9:30 in the.
Well, I hope Right Side Broadcasting is there. You know, Mike Lindell there's a new story about Mike Lindell. His law firm that's representing him in all these lawsuits has dropped him. Yeah, the attorney that was working with him directly for the law firm has left the law firm over this, and he's filing a lot of lawsuits on different things, and the law firm says that they didn't give the okay to file these lawsuits, so they dropped Mike Lindell as a client. Can you believe that? These lawyers, you can molest a child and they'll defend you. All they care about is getting paid. I've never heard of a law firm dropping a client like this before, especially one that's a big money client.
Right. I'm shocked to hear that. I did not hear that news.
Yeah. Well, he'll be fine. Mike Lindell will be fine.
He will. Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, we'll be looking out for that. I'm sure it'll be on Right Side Broadcasting. Yeah, I mean, isn't this crazy? Yeah. This is in the Hill. An attorney for MyPillow CEO and the inventor of course, the MyPillow, Mike Lindell, has left the law firm he worked for one day after filing a lawsuit on behalf of Mike Lindell. Bloomberg first reported this on Friday. His attorney is named Alec Beck. He was not authorized by the law firm to file this Mike Lindell lawsuit. So the law firm dropped Mike Lindell, and the attorney left the firm and is still working for Mike Lindell. This is the deal with that. See, what they do is what I'm talking about is the establishment. What they do is they get to the law firm and threaten them, and threaten that they'll lose other clients if they continue to represent Mike Lindell. That's what happens here. That's why President Trump had such a difficult time finding law firms to represent him in D.C., because if you represent Trump, you'll lose all your other business. These are the dirty tricks that these low-life snakes in the establishment are playing here. And, President Trump, Mike Lindell, and all the rest are going to be dealing with this crap day in and day out. And it will never end. It will never end. Okay? President Trump said Saturday night it'll end when he's reelected in 2024. It'll never end, because this war against MAGA will continue after President Trump's second term in 2024. Okay, whoever the MAGA leader is, Ron DeSantis, Kristi Noem, whoever it is, they're always going to be doing this to them and cutting them off and not allowing them access to television and all of these different things. And it's going to be the way that it is. And the Republican Party are supposed to be about pushing a conservative agenda, winning elections, and defeating Democrats. But what the Republican Party is doing right now is trying to defeat MAGA Republicans, and they're going to continue to do that. There was a very this critical race theory is not a joke, and the critical race theory has been around for a while. And there's a reason why it's become big news these days, and I don't think most people realize this. I think I did mention this on Friday. The book Critical Race Theory, I bought the book. I'm actually in the middle of reading the book. It's disgusting. It's a short book. I just don't have time to sit down and read it too much. But I'm about, a little more than a quarter away through the actual original book. And that book is years old. Critical race theory has been in the public schools of this country for a long, long time, and it's not really a lesson plan so much as it is an environment. Like you have an environment in the workplace, an atmosphere in the workplace. It's kind of like that. It's not necessarily official. It comes in the tone of the teachers and the things they bring up and whatnot. But critical race theory in the public schools is not new. It seems new to most people because it's all over the news lately, right? The reason that it is so much out there today is because of the distance learning, the Zoom classes. The kids have been doing for a year at-home learning throughout the country. In particular, in Florida, our schools have been open a long time, but in these liberal states where critical race theory is an everyday event in their schools, they've been doing distance learning longer and longer and longer. And for the first time, parents are seeing what's going on in the classroom because the kids at home doing the Zoom lessons. Parents could go to school and sit in the classroom, during, you ever have that happen? When I can remember when I was in school a couple times, parents would come in and they would sit in the classroom for an hour, maybe all day. I even did that once or twice when my daughter was in school. But when a parent shows up, they don't get into critical race theory on that day. They're on their best behavior. Okay? And when everything's being done on Zoom like this, parents are actually seeing what is going on in the classroom. I remember The Real World. Remember The Real World? That first season, like in 90, 91 in New York City, when they forget the cameras are rolling, you find out what's real, right? That's what's going on. After being on these Zoom things for so long, the teachers have, like I've got a camera on me every day, live streaming on YouTube. I don't think about it too much because I've been doing it so long. It's just there, And that's what's happened to these teachers. So they've let their hair down, and parents are seeing what's going on in the classroom, this critical race theory, and they're in shock, and they're challenging it now. Sometimes they leak it to the media, sometimes they tweet it, sometimes they go to a school board meeting. And it's not new, it's just new in the news because parents are actually seeing it through this Zoom learning. So, we've had a terrible year with COVID and lockdowns and homeschooling and everything. But one of the things a positive that's come out of it is this, right? That we're learning about this, and it is they're trying to bring back segregation and many other things. And there was something new that came out over the weekend that was very disturbing. I'm sure some of you have heard about this. Well, let me take a break because I just looked at the clock. I don't have time to go through this story, but after the break, I'll get to this this story of this new reverse racist society that we are living in. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Let's take that break and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at
to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and the...
That mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
my
man.
wife loves it.
Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Now, any lab tests now of Boca and any lab tests now of Coral Springs, they've been with us for quite some time here on the Steve Kane Show. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but only the Coral Springs and Boca locations are advertising and supporting the Steve Kane Radio Show. If you're traveling and you need a COVID test for traveling, they have all the tests, whatever test you need for work, to travel, whatever you need a COVID test for, they got it. And they've got the saliva test, boom, and you get the results in 15 minutes or less. over there. But they also do every type of lab test you can imagine. It's where I go for my lab testing, and my wife and daughter go too. And it saves so much time. My wife has to get a test this week, and the reason we go to any lab test now of Boca and Coral Springs is because you're in and out in 15 minutes or less, and it's always less than 15 minutes. I've got to get some follow-up blood work done this week. No appointment necessary, no insurance, no doctor's order needed either. You can just walk right in and get the results and get the test. They'll email you the results. They'll forward them to your physician if you would like. But I've got to get some follow-up blood work. I accidentally found something out that I got a problem. I was over at Any Lab Test Now of Boca a few weeks ago, and just picking up some information for some new ad copy. And when I was over there, I said, you know what, let me get the basic checkup, which checks for a whole bunch of things, and I found out a couple things. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I found out a couple of things, and I saw a doctor immediately. And and I got to go for the follow-up this week, and I'm going to get it done, and I'll just go in one day when I get off the air, boom, get the results, and I'll have them the next day emailed to me while I'm on the air probably. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. They're open Monday through Saturday. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road, north of Hillsboro, on the east side of 441 State Road 7. And their number, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Okay, so we've got a bunch of left-wing racists that hate white people. And this story came out over the weekend. This is in the New York Post. A New York City-based psychiatrist told an audience at the Yale School of Medicine in April that she had fantasies of, quote, unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, unquote. Dr. Aruna Kailani spewed the race-hating virtual remarks in which she also said she'd walk away from the shooting with a bounce in my step, she said, and that white people make my blood boil and are out of their minds and have been for a long time. And she was speaking at Yale's Child Study Center. Audio of the talk was posted online on the platform of a former New York Times opinion writer, along with an interview with her that was conducted by the writer. A flyer promoting the talk and posted online show that the lecture was titled The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind. Whoa. The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind. You know, that's insane. That they actually put together such a sick, racist, twisted workshop and actually posted online promos for it. The lecture was titled The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind. Included in this lecture were learning objectives such as set up white people's absence of empathy towards black rage as a problem. And here was another one. Understand how white people are psychologically dependent on black rage. Dr. Kailani opened her remarks by telling the audience, I'm going to say a lot of things, and it will probably provoke a lot of responses, and I want you to just maybe observe them in yourself. She then added prayers for DMX before discussing what she described as the intense rage people of color feel when talking to white people about racism. We are calm, we are giving to giving. And then when we get angry, they use our responses as confirmation that we're crazy or have emotional problems, Dr. Kailani said. It always ends that way. Happens every time. Then she took the Lord's name in vain. I'm not going to read that part. She went on to say, nothing makes me angrier than a white person who tells me not to be angry because they've not seen real anger yet, she said, before talking about how she systematically cut off most of her former white friends around 5 years ago. I stopped watching the news, she said. Once I started, I couldn't stop. I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, burying their body and wiping my bloody hands as I walked away relatively guiltless with a bounce in my step like I did the world a, and she used the F word, favor. This is Dr. Kalani, Yale. Later in the talk, Dr. Kalani claimed that conversing with white people about racial issues was useless because they are at the wrong level of conversation. White people are out of their minds, and they have been for a long time, she says. White people feel that we are bullying them when we bring up race. They feel that we should be thanking them for all that they have done for us. They are confused, and so are we. We keep forgetting that directly talking about race is a waste of our breath, says Dr. Kalani. When asking a demented, violent predator who thinks that they're a saint or a superhero to accept responsibility, it ain't going to happen. Wow. This is scary. I had a friend, well, I still have a friend. He's still a friend of mine. But a friend of mine, he's a white guy like me. We're about the same age. And since he first started dating girls, he always dated black girls. Always. He's been married to black girls. He's been divorced from black girls and remarried to black girls and always dated, even when we were teenagers, black girls. He's white. I don't know if he's ever dated a white girl. And except for me and a handful of people, his entire social circle, his entire adult life has been black because, when you're married, your circle of people you associate with typically comes from the wife. Is that how it works for you guys? And he's told me this so many times. He says that all of their friends forget that he's white. He's been telling me this for like 20 years. They forget that he's white, because he's around them so much. And he says, you wouldn't believe, he was telling me this 20 years ago, what black people say about white people when they forget I'm white and don't think any white people can hear. He says it's terrible, the racism I hear all the time. And then they're like, oh, sorry, no offense, just saying, Well, now they're coming out of the closet with their racism, which in a way is a good thing, because we can see who the true racists are in our society, and it's not the white community. Not to say there's not isolated white racists, of course, but we have a society that is totally equal now, as equal as a society can possibly be, and all of these things were done by white people. White people passed the laws that gave us the equality that we have today, because it was white people who were in charge. Minorities didn't have a role in government to change the laws. White people did. Martin Luther King and civil rights activists did a lot of good work to bring attention to things. I don't want to minimize that, but they didn't change the laws. Those laws were changed by white people because black people and other minority groups didn't have the power to do it. They weren't in office. And now we're seeing what's really going on. All right, let's take some calls. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I'm Brian. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Hey, Richie.
32 and a half years. I drove a bus down Broward Boulevard, my friend, and for 32 and a half years, I knew what racism was, especially when I was the only white person on a bus. And I used to say, a lot of these people are really sick. I mean, they wake up in the morning. See, the difference between, and I say us, and I'm sure you're the same way, you're bringing this up now because you're a talk show host, but you don't get up in the morning and have your coffee thinking that I hate black people. I mean, this is so outrageous. They actually get up in the morning, a lot of them. And the elderly that rode my bus, you didn't see too much of it. But it's the young ones coming up, listening to the rap.
Yeah.
And the victimhood.
Well, this woman here is a doctor who's speaking at Yale, giving lectures at Yale.
A victim. She's another victim. They actually believe that they're victims of society, and they hate them. Hey, one thing Obama said when he said he hated his own skin. They hate themselves. We don't hate them.
I don't think so. I know a lot of people say that. I don't think minorities hate themselves. I think they just hate white people. Listen, everybody, it's human nature to blame other people for your problems, right? like you don't have what you want out of life. It's not your fault. You blame somebody else. And in the case of many liberal minorities, they blame the man, the white man.
Yeah, but you got to understand that the black race, okay, in America, the lighter they are, they treat lighter blacks differently than the darker blacks.
Yeah.
There's a prejudice within. That's what I'm talking about when they say that they hate their own skin. They really.
No, that's no. I hear that all the time. That's not true. They just don't like whitey. They just don't like whitey. You know, listen. You're talking about liberal. I remember once when I was in high school, and when it was like my first year in high school, it was like 1985, and I remember this one girl. I remember her. I even remember her name. And she was, and I knew I went to middle school with her, and I remember she said to some girl, "I'm going to look for some white girl to beat up today." And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? What is she talking about? Why would she even say that? Why, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's just, we're fine. Now that minorities are empowered in every level of our society, they're feeling emboldened to say publicly what they usually say in private or think to themselves.
Out of the closet.
Yeah.
I ask you a question, Matt.
Oh, yes, here we go. Yes, go ahead.
No, it's good. This is a good one. I thought about you this weekend because I watched President Trump on Right Side Broadcasting, and then I saw the COA of what Right Side Board. They're changing their format and they're looking for professional people. I was thinking, you know, the Steve Kane Show would be an excellent thing to be on.
On Right Side Broadcasting, yeah. I know them there. In fact, you know, I was talking earlier. I had Mike Nificent from Right Side Broadcasting on my YouTube channel on Monday last week when I was at the boat parade. I know some of the people there, and if you were watching President Trump's speech, I got a shout out on Right Side Broadcasting on Saturday. If you were watching it, you might have caught it.
Yeah, I didn't catch it, but to expand to them would be a great thing for you and Steve.
Mm-hmm. It sure would. Absolutely.
You got to negotiate with these people.
Okay. All right.
They're running live morning.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good. All right, appreciate it, Richie. All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break. First hour down, 2 to go. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll take a break and be right back after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Did you know that 2 out of 5 Americans suffer from some kind of allergy? So it's likely that fatigue, runny nose, headaches, intestinal problems, and a general lousy feeling can be connected to an allergy. Any lab test now at Boca Raton offer allergy tests that can detect over 125 airborne, food, and environmental allergens. Allergy testing is quick, easy, and painless. Results can be shared with your physician or an allergist. No doctor's order or prescription is necessary. No appointment either. Just walk right in. Any lab test now at Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
I checked the... Be right back, guys.
This morning before I left, the high today is going to be almost 90 degrees here in South Florida. The hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioner is running non-stop, fighting to keep the house cool. A lot of times the air conditioner can't even keep up with the heat gain. You know, like you'll have the temperature set in your house at 74, and you'll look at the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
Yeah.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radio and barrier in South Florida for 10 years. I mean, we did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radio and barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the AC runtime in half, and a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, with a shingle or tile. Shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, you even see 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling. It heats them up, and it makes your air conditioner work longer, harder, causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp that goes on the underside of the roof deck below the trusses, so there's an air gap so it doesn't damage the roof. And it basically just turns the heat wave that comes down off the roof around and pushes it back up out the roof. So it makes your roof function like a white shingle reflective roof. You know, you see those white roofs on people's houses, they put them on because it cuts their electric bill 25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in on the underside of your roof deck. You know, it's like $1 a square foot, and we've even got a special if you spend 2,000 square feet or more, you get an additional $500 off. So, I mean, hey, it's very reasonable. It's very affordable. This time of year, you know, you're getting it for half price, plus you're getting additional money off. We also do traditional insulation, and we do ductwork. So we can do like the complete job in your attic, whatever you need up in your attic. Insulation, ductwork, you know, radiant barrier, we can do the whole package.
Now listen,
we do that for a lot of people.
It's getting hot today. It's going to be about 88, 89 degrees here in South Florida. We're not in the hottest heat of the summer yet. We will be soon. And because of that, Scott, he's offering a great discount before it gets super.
No, they actually no. The two girls that were hosting the event on Right Side Broadcasting actually gave me a shout out. They were talking about me a little bit there. Just for a second, wasn't anything major, but.
I'm going to give you his website and his number. If you missed this, it's listed at SteveKaneShow.com. First, you can give Scott a call at 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at SteveKaneShow.com. Scott will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now,
All right, hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome back. I'm going to take a call or two before I bring up some new topics, because we have a lot to talk about, that's for sure. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
All right, Andrea, what's up?
Listen, a couple of things. So I'm going to solve Kamala Harris's travel schedule. I'm going to solve it for her. It's like 2.5 seconds. The reason why these people are flooding our border is A, because you told them to, and B, because they're leaving the communist socialist hellhole that Democrats are trying to make this country.
Yeah.
They're fleeing. They are fleeing living in communism and socialism because it means misery for the common person, not the politicians, for the common person.
Yeah, and they're coming here for all the free crap, right? Free living, free food, free education for your kids, all the from K through college and everything else. That's why they're coming here. Oh, by the way, my wife, we were watching, Kamala walking down the stairs of Air Force Two when they landed, and she came down and did the cackle. And my wife said it looks like Kamala Harris has gotten breast implants. Yeah, but when did she do this? Because I've never noticed that before about her. But when she came down the steps, she was like, she was like, Dolly Parton there all of a sudden. It looks like maybe she's had the breast implants since she became vice president.
No, she's had a lot of work done. And when you get breast implants, you're only down a week. and then you stay in a compression garment for another 4 weeks.
Well, maybe it was one of these trips she made out to California since she's been vice president, because that's something. My wife said, "Oh, it looks like she's had breast implants." Did you notice that too?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Did.
Yeah, that's just what you want in a vice president.
Well, I have to tell you too, Jen Psaki's having something done, because her face keeps changing every time she's on TV.
Oh, does it? Yeah. I saw a little bit of that suck-up interview with Brian Stelter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, CNN should just learn to take the loss, because that's what they are. You know, like, MSM is just a super colossal joke.
Mm-hmm.
A joke. And you know what? Fox, once again, played their hand.
Well, back when Clinton was president, we used to call CNN the Clinton News Network. And that's certainly been true. Yeah.
Let's go back to this mayoral candidate that's running as a socialist, the psychotic person from Yale. This is what needs to happen. And I'm sorry to say that it's my opinion and my belief that this is what needs to happen. America has died a death of like 1,000 cuts because we want to be tolerant and respectful of everybody's opinion, of everybody's everything.
Well, you know, this psychiatrist at Yale, okay, she said she wanted to shoot a white person in the head and then she'd walk away without regret with a bounce in her step. You know, this is the way that school shooters have talked. If a white guy said that at school, he'd get arrested and they'd investigate him. This is the way that these shooters talk before they do something. In a school environment, you know, since Columbine, talk like that has serious consequences typically.
But we have placated domestic terrorism. This is what's happened. We have now died a death of 1,000 cuts. And what I mean by that is this. We have let the left run roughshod inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. And now we are reaping the spoils of that.
Mm-hmm.
You have somebody come out and say, I'm a socialist, there has to be a massive backlash against that.
Well, the socialists have always been there, but like these closeted racists, they're out of the closet now. You know, and by the way, they're not socialists, they're communists. They call themselves socialist or democratic socialist because they know that the American people, they don't want to hear communists, so they, you know, it's like when somebody, a lot of times people will say they're bisexual when they're coping with coming out of the closet. They're not bisexual, they're gay. It's a similar thing.
But it has to now be met with absolute intolerance. Like, there can't be an inch.
Well, when someone like this talks this way at a school, whether it's a high school or a college, there needs to be an investigation done, because the way this woman is talking, that's considered a threat in the post-Columbine era. All right, Andrea, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning.
Yes, you're on the radio. What's your name?
My name is Sam Kane. I'm calling over here from Boca Raton.
Okay, well.
And the reason I'm calling you is I know how those black people feel. I'll tell you why. I'm a white guy. Light skin, blue eyes, blondish hair. And as many times as I was growing up in my teens, I would say to myself, and I lived in basically white neighborhoods. I knew very few black people my whole life, you know, personally. I would feel that, man, they treat me just like a black guy. I would actually say that. I swear to God. I would say, boy, they treat me just like I'm a black guy for some reason.
What does that mean? What does that mean? How does a black guy get treated?
I'm treated like I'm less than they are. There's a feeling like we're better than you, and I'm not black. I'm white.
You said, wait a minute. You say you're treated like this is interesting. Okay, I'm just trying to understand what you're meaning here. You said you were treated less than a black guy, or you were treated like a black guy. You were treated like a black guy. So so how does a black guy get treated? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Okay, let me put it more in perspective. I work for the city of Glendale in California. I also work for the city of Los Angeles in California, okay? LA City. And the people over there are some black people in the LA City one, but Glendale was 101% white in every respect. And there's like an attitude, and I would think...
Well, no. When you say you were treated like a black guy, that means white people treat black people in a certain way. So how are black people treated that's different that you're talking about? Because you say you were treated like a black guy. Give me an example of something that was done or said to you that is the treatment that's being treated like a black guy. I'm just trying to find out what that means to you.
Sure, that makes sense. That's a good question. And the thing was, I always felt less than them, no matter who it was.
Oh, wow.
I was so socioeconomically less than them, even though I worked for the same.
Okay, but can you give me an example? What does it mean to be treated like a black guy? Give me a specific.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's a good question. I'm trying to put this in your perspective now. This is feeling it has the time, okay? And now I'm going to try to show you how I got that feeling. It's a little trickier because it's pervasive. It's all over. And I can see why that lady, I noticed in the same thing what she's doing to promote that kind of a thing, the one you're talking about, with the gun and shooting somebody. It's because she has that same feeling I used to get when I was young. And I'm trying to put my finger on that. Maybe I have to call you back.
Yeah, okay. Maybe call me back because I'd like to know the answer to that. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hi, Vincent Wellington. What's going on, Brian?
All right. What's up, Wellington?
Yeah, I don't know what that guy was going off of with that.
Well, what he was getting to is he's from California. Okay, so he's an old liberal, and he's dealing with liberals because he had a government job in California. So white liberals treat black people as less than white people. Yeah, because white liberals are racist. Yes, but he doesn't quite understand that.
I see it now his way, huh? I just don't understand where they get off.
And he thought that made sense. I was treated like a black guy. Oh my goodness. What does that, oh my, we're supposed to be like, what? You're treated like a black, oh my goodness, how could they mistreat you so, To me, treated like a black guy today means great stuff. You got a lot handed to you, right? Your resume is at the top of the stack. Your application to college is at the top of the list. It seems like being treated like a black guy today seems like a pretty good thing. Cops are afraid to pull you over, give you a ticket, Sounds good to me. Treat me like a black guy. Life would be easier.
I just think it shows the liberal ignorance.
Look at what I do for a living. Richie was calling in about Right Side Broadcasting. I'm a big fan of theirs. I wouldn't mind being on Right Side Broadcasting, being a part of that. But if I were a black guy with doing what I do, I would be huge. Because a black conservative, boom. If I was, everything about me was the same except I was black, I'd be like nationally famous right now.
You are, all right, Brian, that's for sure.
Well, to me, I am too. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Well, I thought it was Greg too for a second there. The way he kept going back and forth with you, I was like, "Is that Greg too?"
Yeah, he was confused. That caller was confused. So anyway, what'd you call about today? You didn't call about that guy, did you?
No. I really wanted to speak on Trump's message over the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Just how strong I feel like this is really going to bounce back and make the Republican Party, the MAGA movement, more strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the way he's guiding the light for us, I really can't not be behind him.
Yeah. I know. So you watched the president's speech?
Yeah. I really thought it was great. And then North Carolina conservative, whatever that was.
It was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it was a great one. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, Wellington. All right, we'll take a break and be back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible
I'm going to put the link. This shirt is in my merch store. I'm going to put the link to the shirt in the chat.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about
That's a link to the shirt I'm wearing.
Friendly Tire, everything
he said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires. And when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right.
I just pinned it to the top there.
Save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential.
You can get it in different colors. I just got it in blue because I don't have too many blue shirts.
Hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Yes. All right. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Now, this year, the only time you'll hear me probably ever talk about this is in the course of doing a spot here for Dr. Mitch Matez. But this year, I turned 50, and I don't feel 50. I don't think I look 50 either. And that's because of Dr. Mitch Matez and hormone replacement pellet therapy. You know, back in 2005, Dr. Matez introduced hormone replacement pellet therapy to South Florida. And what hormone replacement pellet therapy does, it's completely 100% natural, and it restores your hormone levels to where they were when you were in your 20s. And it's just wonderful. And I feel better than I did when I was in my 20s, because when you're in your 20s, you may have your hormones, your hormones diminish as you get older. That's part of the aging process. But the reason I feel better than when I was in my 20s is because I'm not out drinking till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, then showing up unprepared to the radio station, and I eat better. So you factor that in with having those hormones, and it's just it's amazing. They're tiny little pellets under the skin. They go in your rear hip area, completely painless. Dr. Matez is very good at inserting these tiny little pellets about the size of a grain of rice when it's dry, before the water's added to it. And boom, it increases your sex drive, your sexual performance. It increases your overall energy level. That's right. And I got to tell you, I think my energy levels are quadrupled with hormone replacement pellet therapy. And for you women out there, it has great benefits too, including stopping and completely reversing the signs and symptoms of menopause. That's right, hormone replacement pellet therapy is for both men and women. And you ladies, the night sweats from menopause, gone. Mood swings, gone. Vaginal dryness, reversed. It's absolutely amazing. That's right. So listen, give Dr. Matez a call over at the Bio Station. It's a completely free consultation if you mention you heard about them on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name?
This is Oscar from Orlando.
Hey, Oscar in Orlando. What's up?
Mark. Hey, I'm listening to the races that they're trying to play out here in this country. You ever seen that movie, Bronx Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the left, this radical left, they try to divide the country like that. They want to indoctrinate that same system again. Remember with the Italians and the blacks back then and the Bronx system in there. And if God forbid a white person comes up, I'm a Hispanic, my wife is white, very Hispanic area. She sees them. She says, "I'm a minority on this area," and it's the new white in this society now, where the black, like you say, if you had a show, you're more tolerant, or that's the kind of introduction they trying to play as.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Obama, that she lives in the vineyards, and she said she's afraid of seeing her daughters driving down the street.
Yeah, right. Well, I think every parent is afraid to see their daughters drive down the street. That's the worst, man. When your daughter takes off in the car and you're not with her the first time, oh my goodness, nobody likes that. But I know that's not what she means. So what is she saying? That the cops in the liberal Hamptons are racist? What is Michelle saying?
Well, that's what she's trying to...
Well, listen, when they talk about cops being racist, this is something people don't realize. Most cops are liberal, They work for the government. They're liberal. Not all, but a lot of them are. And I promise you, Derek Chauvin in the George Floyd case is a Democrat. If he were a MAGA guy, believe me, we would have known about it. And these cops in these liberal towns, like most people in these liberal cities, are Democrats. And that's the cops. So yeah, a lot of Democrats are always about dividing. That's everything they do is about dividing. They started the damn Civil War, the Democrats.
Yeah, I mean it's so. I mean, we had a black president, 2 terms, and for her to say she lives in White House.
Linda, $25 super sticker. Thank you, Linda. Everyone thank Linda West for that super sticker.
How they're trying to portray, and the whites are evil. The whites are evil across the board.
Yeah.
And if Hollywood doesn't give the props more to the blacks, there's favoritism, there's racism and everything. I think it's just.
Well, it's what I was saying earlier. What I was saying earlier was this: we have an equal society today. Our society has as much equality as a society can have, and we're also the most diverse country in the world, and all the equality we have was done through legislation. White people changed the laws, not black people. Men gave women the vote. Okay, women weren't empowered to change that. White, mostly men, that held federal office, changed the laws that allowed blacks to be fully integrated in our society. We can make a list all day long, and they call white people racist. White people freed the slaves and gave us equality among the ethnicities, the religions, and the genders. Gays are not responsible for gay marriage. Straights are. There aren't enough gays in power to do it. So this is something that leftists don't get.
I know. I mean, and God forbid you support the senator from Carolina, Tim Scott, he's awesome. And I mean, he doesn't align himself in the way that speech he gave that night. He was criticized from the whites and the blacks. How is he? Well, how dare he talk like that? And, I mean, look, this country is not racist. And then he presented himself as what he has accomplished growing up. And he's like, I don't look back, I look forward.
Yeah. Well, listen, appreciate the call, Orlando. Take care and have a good one. Now, this is something that came up over the weekend. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And this was absolutely an amazing dialogue that was taking place over the weekend involving President Trump. And I think this is a real strong possibility. This is not I don't talk about things that are an abstract theory. I don't role play and do fantasy wish thinking on the air. When we talk about something, if it's not real, at least we believe it is, right? You get what I'm saying? So some great discussions came out over the weekend, and it's picking up steam. And this is just amazing. And Donald Trump thinks outside the box, right? He thinks outside the box. He doesn't think like a politician. He comes from the private sector. He took a small loan of $1 million from his dad, which he paid back. How many of you have ever paid back your parents, right? And he turned it into $10 billion. He's an amazing out-of-the-box thinker. So this new thing coming out about President Trump is amazing. There's talk of President, and I want to hear your thoughts on this at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. There's talk of President Trump running for a seat in the House of Representatives, getting elected to Congress, and when we retake the House in the midterms, then President Trump becoming Speaker of the House. And by the way, being Speaker of the House doesn't mean he's not running in 2024. And that is such an insanely brilliant idea. Only Trump could do such a thing. And that is amazing. All he has to do is find a Republican House seat. And I'm sure one of these good people like Brian Mast or Matt Gaetz would step aside if we needed to for President Trump to run in that House race and become Speaker. That, to me, is absolutely amazing of an idea. And, of course, the discussion's going a little further. So President Trump runs for the House, gets elected, wins a seat in the midterm elections. The MAGA Republicans make him Speaker of the House. So we have Speaker of the House, Donald Trump. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President Trump. I'd use both titles. I'd call him both. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President Trump. That's right. Still running in 2024. But of course, upon becoming Speaker of the House, Donald Trump, starting impeachment hearings against Joe Biden over the financial dealings of the corrupt Biden family. I mean, this is, if it were anyone else, I would say that's crazy. It'll never happen. But Donald Trump is not your average politician, and it could, boom, happen on a dime, just like that, before they even knew it. And this is liberals. This isn't just something. This isn't like conservative fantasy thinking. I was watching liberals over the weekend online in a state of depression talking about this. Some big name liberals very panicked that Donald Trump will become Speaker of the House in the midterms. Oh man. Wouldn't you love to see Nancy Pelosi hand over the gavel to Speaker of the House, President Trump? Oh man. And then he's running for re-election in 2024. Oh. That would just be amazing. That would be an amazing thing. You know, Donald Trump, he knows how to make an impression. He knows how to market and manipulate media and all of these things. I cannot think of anything more brilliant than that. And I would love it. What do you guys think about that? I want to hear your thoughts on this. I think it's an amazing idea. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour, and we will be right back with your calls after this.
Any lab tests now of Boca offer more than just lab work. They also have B12 injections available. B12 injections promote weight loss, increase energy, reduce stress, promote healthy skin, improve sleep, increase metabolism, fight heart disease, improve memory, and improve mood. B12 injections at any lab test now of Boca Raton, like their lab test, are priced low. 5 injections for just $69. Other places in town charge $349 for 3 injections, so that is a huge savings. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow. Here to tell you about my Giza Dream bed sheets. I made sure that they would be everything you'd ever want in a sheet set. I started with the world's finest cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile River, and the Mediterranean Sea all meet. The long staple cotton makes my Giza Dream sheets ultra soft and durable. They come with extra wide pillowcases to fit over any pillow and extra deep pockets to fit over any mattress. Not only that, they come with my 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And now you can get the best sheets ever for the best price ever. When you buy one of my Giza
YOLO
sheet sets, You'll get another one
$50 U.S. Super Chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing the truth. Everyone, thank YOLO.
To check out, and when you buy a set of Giza Dream Sheets, get a second set free. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E,
And welcome, YOLO.
or call 1-800-716-4879.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Welcome back, everyone. It is 33 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. Now, as I told you, the MyPillow bathrobes, 40% off with the promo code KANE. They still have them in stock, but I've seen they're running out in certain sizes, some colors. And Father's Day is just a couple weeks away. These MyPillow bathrobes, I have one. They are soft, they are comfortable, and of course you're supporting this program and the great Mike Lindell with your purchase of any MyPillow product. But the MyPillow bathrobes, they will be running out of stock soon. They're already running out of certain colors and certain sizes. They've been out of stock for months in women's and many of the men's, and they got them back in last week. I was telling you Friday, and boom, I checked this morning right before I went on the air. They're starting to run out already. So go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, buy your dad or buy yourself a MyPillow bathrobe while they last. 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. So we're talking about this brilliant idea of President Trump running for a House seat, becoming Speaker of the House, impeaching Biden, running for president in 2020. I'm excited about all this stuff. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Well, this idea about Trump being Speaker of the
YOLO,
House,
where are you located? What country are you in, YOLO?
Well, if he impeached Biden, then what do we get? We get that laughing moron as our president? No, that's not going to work. And then President Trump is top of the heap. He wouldn't want to.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, so so we impeach and remove Biden, then we got Kamala Harris with her breast implants as president. Okay, so you don't like this idea?
No.
You don't like the idea. You don't like the idea of President Trump becoming Speaker of the House in the midterms and then running again in 2024 for president as the sitting Speaker of the House. Why would you not like that idea?
Because I think President Trump, like I said, is president. He wouldn't demean himself and become a lower position.
That's not really a lower position. The House of Representatives is more powerful than you realize because they control the government money.
Yeah. Well, I would like.
And think about how historic that is. President Trump's all about imaging and marketing.
Trump Jr. would be better for that. I think he could.
I think you need to have some coffee. I think this is a crazy, insanely brilliant idea. And I saw Democrats over the weekend more depressed than you over it. They're panicked about this.
Well,
there's one guy on YouTube, this liberal on YouTube. His name is Bo of the Fifth Column, and I watch him on YouTube. He's a liberal guy, and he did a video on this over the weekend, and he looked down in the dumps over it. He's like, oh, I mean, and he puts on a big positive face with all their liberal crap all the time, and he looked depressed at the thought of President Trump becoming Speaker of the House in the midterms. Oh man, and I love seeing that.
Anything that has anything to do with President Trump, they certainly all get panicked because they know how powerful he is and what he's capable of.
Well, welcome Sweden.
Sure.
But you're always negative. You're always depressed, and nothing's ever good news to you.
I'm not good news is when he becomes president. That's great news, but he's not going to be able to become.
No, it's being seriously talked about. All right, I don't need any negativity. I don't need depressed conservatives on the line. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name?
Hey, Brian, Jeff from Coral Springs.
Hey, Jeff. What's up?
An interesting thing about the Speaker of the House, from civics class like 45, 50 years ago when I took it, the Speaker does not need to be a sitting member of the House. It can be anybody.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, has there ever been a speaker who wasn't, though?
No, but this Trump is a historic guy, and think about how awesome that would be.
Nah, it wouldn't. That's too crazy. It's never happened before. It'd be challenged from now till doomsday. He'd have to win the House seat. You know, and I don't think that'd be very. I think we could easily find a House seat for him in Florida to run in. I'm sure Ron DeSantis would take care of that.
Yeah, but if they don't need to be a sitting member, he's a historic.
Well, now you're into theory. Now you're into like role playing political theory. There's, to my knowledge, there's never been a speaker who wasn't a member. So, and if it happened, I don't know about it. Maybe it happened, but that's crazy talk. No. You have to get elected to the House, which would not be a problem.
There was talk about having somebody that wasn't the speaker the last time the Republicans took over.
Yeah, the Republicans talk a lot, but they don't do too much.
Yeah, because Paul Ryan, he claimed he didn't want to do it.
I know.
Remember that?
They dragged him to do. I know. They dragged him to have that big title and all that, the private plane. They just made him. They just forced him to do it. I know.
Anyways, that's my.
All right, Coral Springs. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hi, Steve from Boynton Beach.
Hey, Steve. What's up? You're on the air.
Oh, hi. I have an issue. I have 2 children under 16 that my ex-wife is getting vaccinated without me not wanting it to have done. And I'm wondering if you or the listeners can come up with any suggestions.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. Are you and your wife married?
We were.
Oh, so your wife has custody?
Right.
Why did you leave your wife?
We had an amicable divorce.
I know, but why? Which one of you was having the affair?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious. I'm getting to this. Which one of you was having the affair?
Neither of us.
Then why'd you leave your wife and kids?
Brian.
No, this is relevant to your question. I know it's uncomfortable, but why did you walk out on your kids?
It's an amicable divorce.
I don't know about that. Why did you walk out on your kids?
Brian, come on. Okay.
This is relevant. This is relevant to your question. Oh yeah.
I'm asking about a vaccine.
No, I'm getting to that. Okay, slow down. Now you don't want to tell. Okay, this is what I would say to you. Okay, you don't want to tell us why you left your wife and kids. Okay, it has everything to do with it. Just listen to what. Let me make my case, and then you can take whatever you want from it. Okay. Now this guy, he just called in. He and his wife are divorced. His wife is having his kids vaccinated. He doesn't want them vaccinated. His wife has custody. I would say that when you walked out on your kids and left them, you gave up your right. That the wife takes care of them and has custody of them, so she has more parental rights than you do.
Okay, I agree.
So I would say if you got an issue like that, you shouldn't have walked out on your kids. That's what I would say.
Okay. You know, this is a serious issue.
I'm being serious. I'm a married man with a kid. I'm being very serious.
Got it, Brian. I got it. I see my kids a lot. We live in neighboring towns.
Yeah, I see my kid too every day. I live in the same town and house. Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
I mean, you live in a different town. When your kids. He's getting nervous.
Okay.
Well, when your kid, let me ask you this. How old were your kids when you guys split?
10 years ago.
Okay, so they were like 5? Your kids were like 5? Okay, when you're... This is all about today's issue. You just don't get it.
Brian, I got it. She has more parental rights than you.
Well, when your wife was taking your kids to register them for kindergarten, you had already split, right? So vaccinations were required then. Did you go with her to the doctor and go through and make sure you approved of all the vaccinations?
But we didn't. There was nothing.
Lincoln, $100 Australian super chat. Thank you. Everyone, thank Lincoln.
Here. Okay. So
keep up the good work and chat. I would say I'm not taking a position on whether or not they should get vaccinated or not. That's between your wife and you and the doctors, okay? Because I'm not taking a position on that. It's you guys are the parents, and and that's between you guys and your doctors. But I'm just telling you that this is probably the first time you've gotten involved in a medical decision with your kids and and your wife. And I really can't blame her for not listening to you too much, because how many times has she taken them to the doctors over the years as opposed to you?
Got it, Brian. I got it. Okay, I'm bringing up an issue that divorced parents will probably have. Okay, that one parent wants to do one thing medically, another parent wants to do another, and I got it. See?
But what I'm saying is over the 10 years that she's been raising the kids alone without you, living in a neighboring town, when it's time for them to go,
you don't know how much Chuck.
It's all about money. It's all about money. I know. You give the money. Yeah.
Brian, I know. That's not.
No. It is the issue. You're just uncomfortable with the issue. So over the 10 years that you and your wife have been split, and you don't live at home with your kids, and you live in another town, who's taking the kids to the doctor's appointments?
We live in border towns.
Border towns. Okay. But over these 10 years, who's primarily responsible for taking the kids to the doctors?
Her.
Now all of a sudden you want to get involved in your kids' medical decisions. All of a sudden you're concerned.
Brian, I'm a big fan of yours. Okay, I watch you. I'm a huge Trump person.
That's okay.
I've done good things.
That's good.
But and I'm a huge person, and I never thought the country would turn into this.
No, it's a terrible thing, but I know a lot, but I just yeah. Go ahead.
Like this, we've never had a situation like.
If you guys were still married and were raising the kids together, you wouldn't have this problem. Most of this problem you're having is because you're divorced, and and this is what divorced people do, is they use the kids to get at each other.
No, Brian, don't make assumptions. Okay, I said we're very amicable.
Yeah.
Time married. Okay.
Who got remarried first?
Don't make assumptions. Brian, it doesn't.
You got remarried first. Okay. Did you know?
I'm asking your audience, what do they suggest? Do they have a lawyer? Should I write a letter? Okay.
Write a letter? Sure. Call a lawyer. Call a lawyer. Tell them after 10 years I want to be involved in health decisions for my kids for the first time in 10 years. Good luck in front of the judge with that. Good luck.
Okay.
All right. Hey, listen, I'm gonna let you run. But I appreciate your call. I think it's a good discussion. If you're on hold, stand by. We're gonna take our last break of the second hour, and be right back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977.
This is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are
Who, Don, me or the caller?
Still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all,
well,
Medicare pays for this.
I'm not taking a position on the shot. I just find it interesting that all of a sudden he's concerned about his kid's doctor stuff.
954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires.
Well, okay.
Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all
Well, I'll talk about it on the air.
Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van. At the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135.
That call had nothing to do with the vaccination. Nothing to do with the vaccination.
That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balance. balancing and no added charges.
He told me, Lily Trump Girl, he told me that his wife has been responsible these 10 years for taking the kid to the doctor. I asked him.
Tell him what you drive, and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
She didn't walk out. He did.
friendlytire.net.
I asked him several times. If she walked out, he would have told me. He would have said, she left me for another guy. I couldn't believe it, but he didn't tell me that.
For around 3 years, he always has time for
No one with 2 kids is all of a sudden has an amicable divorce.
His prices are very affordable, and if you need implants,
No, he said they have custody.
because he has the best.
You don't know. I know. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've talked to thousands of people on the phones. You can pick up a lot from a conversation.
4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh boy, getting a lot of hate from on the way I was with that last caller. If you're on hold, stand by. That last call had nothing to do with the vaccination or Trump or COVID. Okay, I was talking about something completely different. Someone said, "How do you know that he left?" I asked him several times. If his wife left him, he would have told me. My wife left me. I was upset. She had a boyfriend, whatever. Didn't tell me that. I gave many, many opportunities. That call had nothing to do with. See, I believe that a father should stay married to the mother of his children and take care of the children. That's the crazy conservative idea that I have. That's all. It had nothing to do with the vaccination, that call. Nothing to do with it. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Good morning, Jim in Cincinnati.
Hey, Jim, what's up?
You're harsh on that guy. And I see that. You come from a moral high ground that no one else seems to come from when they're calling into you for an opinion.
I don't know, you're judging me right now. Excuse me, you're judging me right now. You're coming from a moral high ground over me. You're judging me.
I'm coming in. Hey, see, there you go. No, Brian, I'm not calling.
You're judging me.
You're from a normal high ground. A normal high ground looked into what you just did, watch you smirk as you judge this man who wanted your opinion.
I gave it. It just wasn't the one he wanted to hear.
Your opinion. I bet that guy never called back because you lost him.
What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to... Listen. He's listened to the show for a long time. You guys know what I'm about. He called me. I didn't call him. He didn't call me for my opinion. He wanted reassurance.
I know you're about judgment, and you judge that guy before you even listen to his question.
I listened to his question.
About his marriage.
No, because I was answering his question.
You've got a mute button, and you're weak like that.
Oh.
Let him call back.
No, 1 call per day, but I've got you now, and I left him on the air, and
I've got you. I called you.
Yeah, but I've got you on the phone now, and I'm keeping you on the phone. I could end the call. I'm keeping you on the phone.
I'm surprised you haven't.
Well, then you must not have been listening to the show very long. You must not have been listening to the show very long because we put people on that give us grief all the time.
A lot of people's respect by judging.
Why? Because I believe a man should stay at home and raise his kids and not walk out?
About that.
He told me that he and his wife divorced 10 years ago.
It could have been an ill...
Oh, so, okay. So let me ask you this. So are you telling me that the conservative position is that men should leave their kids?
No, I didn't say a thing about conservative position. And you don't know who left who.
I do know. I asked him several times. If his wife would have left me, if his wife would have left him, he would have told me.
Hey, the first thing you did was say who cheated on who.
Yes.
Bull.
Hey, listen. Don't have a moral superior position to mine. You're judging me. You're making moral judgment on me. You said that I shouldn't be doing what you're doing to me right now.
Oh, Brian, now you're just stretching, man.
Why do most people... Okay, Okay. Why do have you ever been married?
Twice.
Okay. Why do most people? Why do?
Brian.
I see. So you relate to that guy. You relate to that guy because you walked out on your you walked out on your responsibilities too. I see. Now you relate to him.
You know everything about everybody, but you don't know crap.
Why do most people get divorced?
Because the marriage is over.
Why is a marriage over and people leave typically?
A million reasons.
What's the most common? What is the most common reason?
Let me answer your question. There's many reasons that people get divorced as there are that people get married.
But what's the most common?
That's because someone cheated.
That's correct. That's the most common. Most men will not leave a relationship. It's true. Most men will not leave a relationship even if they're dating. And I will. I'm going to tell you more. Most men, excuse me.
Your child, Brian. Why don't you have a natural child, Brian? What's wrong?
Oh, a natural. My daughter is a natural child. Stupid. Why do you think? I'll tell you why. But why do you think I adopted?
Brian, I don't listen to you enough to give a damn.
No, you brought it up. You brought up my child, Mister. Why do you think? Why did you say that? Why do you think I adopted a child? Big shot.
I adopted my son at 13 months old.
Yeah. Why did you say that then? Why did you make a comment about my child and say my child's not natural?
Careful of judging someone over something.
What, is it a negative thing? Adoption is a negative thing?
No, yeah, that's why I've got a 35-year-old adopted son.
Excuse me, I don't have an adopted child. I have a child. I don't have an adopted child. I have a child.
To stabilize your unstable position about other people, Brian.
I understand that you walked out on 2 marriages yourself, and you relate to that guy. I get it.
I read your chat while you were dogging, dude.
So, yeah, and?
You were dogging that guy for no reason.
Not at all. Listen.
It could have been a disease.
A disease? It could have been a disease? Is that why your marriages, is that why you left your wives? Because of disease?
Is alcoholism a disease?
I don't know if that's true or not. I know a lot of people say that.
Oh, Brian, you can't even grab a freaking...
Oh, so you were drunk. You're drunk.
The drunk?
Or was your wife... Did you... Well...
Make you an...
Okay, so your ex-wife was an alcoholic.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So your wedding vows... Okay. So this is interesting. So now slow down. So okay. So you say alcoholism is a disease. Your wife fell ill with alcoholism. Sickness and health mean nothing to you. So you said your wife was an alcoholic. Alcoholism is a disease. And when your wife was sick, you walked out and left her on her own. You're a great guy. What about the second time? Was she an alcoholic too?
Is that how it happened, Brian?
Well, that's what you've told me. That's what you've told me. That's what you've told me. You said alcoholism is a disease and your wife had alcoholic problems.
Yes, you're all mouth. That's what
I only have what you've given me to work with. You told me that.
Okay.
Why? Okay, so what happened the second time? What was her problem?
It was an agreed thing. We stayed living together for 15 years after that, raising a child, Brian.
Then why? Yeah, then why'd you get divorced?
What's that?
I'm not judging. You're judging me.
Listen,
you're judging me. All right, take care. Oh, my goodness. Divorced men are uniting against me. I'm sorry, guys. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. It's me.
It sounds like you.
Okay, it's me. I want to tell you something, Brian. You get carried away sometimes in the wrong way. You're wrong on the guy. You made him play. The guy just asked you a simple question. You went into all that crap. You know, I won't do it to you because I wish I can, but I won't do it to you what you did to him because Steve needs you. So when I get through with you, you'll go home and sit in the closet for a year.
What would you do to me? What does that mean? What would you do to me?
Sick. You're sick. You get sick and you get crazy.
I'm sick and crazy, and you're gonna do something to me? What do you mean you're gonna do something to me?
No, you got all these moral attitudes about this and that and everything. You're full of crap. You don't even know what the hell the world's about, my friend. You do not know. You're getting carried away with your with your being famous. You're getting carried away with it. And you're wrong. The guy asked you a simple question. It has everything to do about his marriage.
It has everything to do with it.
No, it did not.
Okay, let's. Can we talk? Can we talk? Can you talk? I know you want to do something to me. You know, I don't know what that means. But let's talk about the caller. So you're threatening physical violence against me. That's nice. But I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. You're threatening. You're threatening physical violence against me, and I'm doing something wrong.
Physical violence built this country, whether you like to.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're threatening me with physical violence, but I'm in the wrong here. I get carried away. You don't hear me doing that. Let's talk about that caller, though, okay? He called in. Forget about the vaccine, because that's like a divisive thing. He's talking about something medical for his kid. He says he's divorced. His ex-wife wants to take his kids to get a medical procedure, right? Okay. He tells me that his wife has handled all the medical stuff his whole kid's life. Now all of a sudden he wants to be involved? You don't think that's relevant to the discussion?
No, it's not relevant to the discussion. This is a whole new thing. This epidemic is nothing like the past.
All right. Well, you and I will disagree. The wife is the one who stayed up all night when the kids had a fever. Who stayed home from work when the kid couldn't go to school sick. Now all of a sudden the divorced guy wants to be involved in the kid's medical life? Come on.
You're wrong, guy. You're absolutely wrong.
Okay, well, and are you right, threatening physical violence against me? I'm wrong and you're right.
Yeah, well, and Steve, in my day, when somebody did something that was wrong or stupid, we take care of it.
Oh, there you go. He's doing it again. All right, take care. Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, my goodness. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. What's going on here on the show is we've got a whole bunch of divorced guys that are triggered right now. We got a whole bunch of divorced guys. They got a lot of hang-ups and a lot of guilt that they walked out on their wives, walked out on their kids, walked out on their responsibilities, walked out on and ignored their marital vows, right? And we're putting together this I walked out on my wife and kids club here in the audience, and they're triggered. They're triggered. We'll come back with our third and final hour right after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big money on your electric bill.
I want to hear from some women. I want to hear from some women on the phones about this. How do you women feel about this discussion?
But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week, and we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new installation, and she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew, were very, very polite and they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts.
What do you guys think about it? You know, I didn't watch that fight with Logan Paul and Holyfield, but they went the distance, and he won by, you know, the points. Come on.
I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my
Mayweather. Yeah, did I say Holyfield?
Flex stuff, which is what we use
Sorry.
now in the industry. But let me
Mayweather. That's what I meant to say. How does Mayweather lose to Logan Paul? Well, you women call. I want to hear from some women on the phones.
I got everything for less than what I thought.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings
Logan Paul won.
into your attic,
Beat Mayweather.
Because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and cool.
Trump's divorced, but it looks like he takes care of the kids. They're with him all the time. They live around him. They work for him. It's a different situation.
As is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500.
Well, you women need to call me on the air. I need to hear a female opinion.
1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned?
Yeah, God forbid a radio talk show host pisses people off. What do you think we're supposed to do?
Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida.
There was no winner in the fight? I thought it said Logan Paul won in the decision. That they went the distance and Logan Paul won the distance. I thought I read that this morning.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
Oh, man. Apparently, I've done something really bad. I've pissed people off in the listening audience. That's the last thing a radio talk show host wants to do, is piss people off in the listening audience. Oh, my goodness. I need to hear from some women on the phone about the last 20 or 30 minutes of discussion here. Oh, boy. What I'm hearing now are a bunch of men that are divorced that feel guilty, and they've been triggered by me pointing out that they should have stayed with their wife and kids. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go back to the phones. I want to hear some women on the phones and hear the female perspective on such things at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Louise from Boca.
Oh, hey, Louise.
Well, I am a woman, and in defense of that poor man, I do have to say you are very rude to callers, especially if they don't agree with you. You've done it to me. But you don't give us personal.
Oh, no, this doesn't. You don't count. You don't count because this isn't about the last caller. You got a grudge with me.
When I heard you mouthing off to that...
You got a grudge. You got a grudge. So you're not, your opinion is more about your grudge against me than with the caller.
Words in people's mouths, and you don't even let them finish a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, I find when somebody does not agree with you, you're very curt and very rude. That bothers me.
Oh, well, Oh.
Me. I like to wear a mask in stores. You're telling me I'm not a Trump person. I mean, how could you make sense?
No, I didn't say you're not a Trump person. No. But I remember your call now. It was a while back. I'm surprised you still hadn't gotten over this. This has been like weeks ago. It was like a month ago, this call.
Gotten over. I've listened. Even
no, you haven't gotten over it.
When you talk to Wheezy, you're just plain rude, Brian.
Uh-huh.
Not to Steve sometimes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You were telling, I don't remember all the details of your call, okay? I just have a blurred, vague recollection of it. But you were upset that the mask restrictions were being lifted, even with vaccinated people, and I just thought that was strange.
I didn't say I was mad that they were being lifted. I said I prefer to wear a mask, a shield when I go in.
See, I need to hear from a woman who has a real opinion on the call, not some lady that has a grudge who you know.
Well, anyway, you are rude to Wheezy and everything.
Oh, to Wheezy. Wheezy, who uses racial slurs to describe me to her kids, but I'm rude. She told me that she tells her kids I'm a cracker. That's the N-word for white people.
I'm just saying, it would be nice if you were a little nicer to people who don't agree with you.
Well, we give a forum to everyone on this program, and all the calls are screenless. So everyone is welcome to call on the air and call us out, me or Steve, at any moment in time. That's what we do. And I think that's respect. What other radio show does that? That's why we take the calls screenless. We don't have to, but we do, by design.
No matter what a person says, they never win with you because you do twist things around. That I have observed, believe me, and I'm very good into psychology.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Been in therapy a lot?
To say, but just be kinder to people, even Steve.
Okay, all right. Now trying to divide me and Steve, please. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller. You're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Oh, cool. This is Brian from Michigan, and I'm a divorce guy, and I'm with you on that situation with the guy. I think he was an idiot.
Well, this is the thing. You know, my daughter is 22, and she's got a doctor's appointment today, and I'm taking her. I'm driving her. In the middle of the day, I'm driving her to and from the doctor today because because of the type of thing she's having done. She needs to have someone to drive her. People that are divorced, the wife usually has custody of the kids and take care of the kids, and they're up with them with the fevers. They're with them on the sick days from school. They're taking them to the doctor's visits. And the divorce guys, they get to come in and have some fun from time to time, take the kid here, take the kid there, and then all of a sudden they want to be involved in a real parenting decision that's not fun. They want to act like a grandparent. Grandparents, it's great, right? Grandparents don't raise the kids; they're just there for the fun. You know what I mean? And I was taking issue. This has nothing to do with the vaccination with that caller. It has to do with.
He wanted to be justified with having the conversation with her on his, he left his family.
I think if for the first time in 10 years you're getting involved in doctor's appointments and medical decisions after 10 years, I think you've given up your rights at that point, in my opinion. Which is what he was asking for. He was asking for my opinion.
You either have true joint custody where you have 50-50 decision on the situation through the judge, and he has his child or how many he's got through a divorce. You have either or. You either got...
Yeah, but didn't you hear what he said? You don't know how much I pay in child support, Brian. Oh, well, that takes care of everything.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I paid my...
You know what I pay in child? You know what I pay in child support? 100% of my income. Every dollar I make goes right to my wife. Every dollar. Not half of it, not 35%, not 70%, 100%. And before I buy anything, I'll text my wife, hey, I want to buy this thing. Is it you know what I mean? Because she handles the money. That's how it works.
My son, I got divorced 10 months afterwards, and it was because we didn't like each other.
Most people get divorced. Listen, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, okay? But most people get divorced because the man is having an affair. That's why most divorces happen.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, my situation with that was, I was going to break up with her when she told me she was pregnant. We got married May 30th.
All right, I don't want to get involved in too much in that story, but thanks for the call. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Morning, Brian. This is Dee in Newport Richie.
Hey, Dee.
Hey, so I'm a female calling in on the topic.
Okay, you're on the air. Let's go.
Yeah. So as far as the guy calling in about the vaccine and your opinion on that, You've got people in the chat room flipping out right now.
No?
Flipping out right now. And seems like you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what I want to say about that. My parents were divorced when I was young. I would say about 13 years old. Now, do I think my dad should have stayed? First of all, my dad was the one that had the affair. And so they got divorced. Of course, broke my mom's heart and all. Now, should he have stayed because that's what dads should do? It would have been not a good thing if he did, and I'll tell you why. Because when the kids are in their bedroom with the door closed, the walls are thin, and it was too many nights of crying, listening to the two people I love the most fighting like cats and dogs. So it was actually a much more peaceful household when he was gone.
Yeah. Well, there could be situations when maybe it's better, but the reason that caller with that guy got hostile is not because of me. He was evasive. He didn't. He was asking me my opinion about what he should do. I was trying to gather information about his situation to give an informed, educated opinion, and he got very evasive. And he was evasive because he was uncomfortable with the questions I was asking. I mean,
my dad had any right in what happened with my mom's 4 kids? No, actually, I think he gave that up. He's the one who had the affair. He screwed up the family, and my mom was a superwoman with.
Well, I saw somebody in the chat during the break said, well, Donald Trump's been divorced. Yeah, but he is not an absent father. His kids are with him all the time. They work for him. They live near him. He's been with them their entire time, even though he was divorced. This is a different thing. This is a different thing.
It's a different thing, but I do agree that the father gave up his rights whenever he screwed up.
Now, why are people pissed off at me, Dee? What's going on?
I think that they're pissed off at you because the dude sounded very sincere. He sounded like a real Brian Craig fan, Steve Kane Show fan. He had a question. He really wanted the answer too.
He didn't want the answer. He wanted reassurance that his position was right. He was calling in for a yes man.
He wanted assurance that he had a say, but not only that, he wanted to take it further. I mean, he wanted to write a letter, whatever that means. But who knows? I mean, but he was.
Well, listen, he the kids are still minors. He can go and go to family court and get involved. By the time that happens, it'll probably be too late. It'll probably be done. The reason people are upset about it is because there's 2 groups of people. We have these guys that walked out on their marriages that are pissed off at me, like the guy that wanted to punch me, the other guy from Cincinnati, and that's one group. And the other group they don't, all of it. They're conservative. This guy walked out on his wife and kids. They're relating to him because he's against the vaccination. So they're putting their moral position that a conservative would typically have on a father's role with his children aside over that. That's all.
He's really passionate about this question because this is not your typical flu.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'm passionate too. I mean, my parents were divorced when I was 5 years old. I've never been to a doctor's appointment with my dad ever in my life. Okay. And, frankly, I mean, this is a terrible thing to say, and a lot of you may not know this. I haven't even seen my father in 30 years. And I don't talk about that too much. But maybe I'm passionate about fathers walking out on their families.
Okay. So
you know what I mean? And my dad, not only did my parents divorce when I was 5, haven't seen him in 30 years, my dad's been married multiple times and has many, many children. And he's not with any of the mothers of any of them. Okay, so maybe I've got an issue about that.
Big time, you do.
And maybe it's healthy. Maybe it's not. But
Yeah, every situation, every household is different. But that is absolutely the reason you came flying from the angle that you did immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hi, Brian. This is Rolanda.
Hey, Rolanda.
I was listening at that conversation. I'm just gonna talk about it a little from my vantage point because when I was 7, one of the most horrifying situations would have been my parents, or scenarios would have been my parents getting a divorce. But by the time I was 15, and I'm serious about this, Brian, I was on bended knee to my God, asking Him that He changed the perspective of both my parents so that they would get a divorce. And that lady said it, I think, she summed it up pretty good. She said, when the children, the lights are out, the walls get thin, and you start hearing the real situation. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes, you may not have known this, because it sounds like you probably went through something. For what I'm hearing, you went through something. That is something to have a father who never, try to communicate with you really, or try to, be interested in your life. But I can just tell you from my vantage point, there are times, and I'm just being honest. Women are not innocent in a lot of these situations either.
Well, hold on a second here. Anyone who calls this program is going to be held to the same standard as any other caller, and that is not to give us a line of crap. And when I asked the guy about why they got divorced, obviously I did it in I'm a radio talk show host, okay? I mean, give me a break. And I've been trained very well on how to do this job from Steve Kane. And the way that I asked him was in a top-tier professional radio talk show host way. But he's telling me, this is what he told me, right? I said, why did you leave your wife? Why'd you walk out on your family? Because that's, and I asked it in that way on purpose, not because of my situation, but that's typically what happens, okay? And what did he tell me? We had an amicable divorce. So he expects us to believe that they just woke up one day and said, I don't want to be married. And she said, I don't want to be married either. Okay, let's go. Come on. That's crap.
Well, there are some divorces that are amicable that I know of.
Please. With children, with 2 children, come on.
Yeah, but here's the concern though. First of all, if it was amicable, she would have consulted you about that. Number one, you're right in deducing from that something's wrong here. But I can tell you this: there are some women, to be honest with you, Brian, and I'm just, my father had his problems, my mom had hers too, and it takes 2 to be honest with you to break up.
But listen, do you have kids? Do you have kids? Okay, well that's okay. Hey, listen, it's not a crime, but you know that when it comes to parenting, especially when there's a divorce, the wife is the mother, has custody typically, takes care of the children, and let me tell you, there's a lot of nights with fevers and doctors and ER visits and fevers and all kinds of business, and when I hear a dad who probably for the first time in his children's life all of a sudden wants to be involved in doctor's issues, all of a sudden, come on, give me a break.
Let me tell you something about that, because I spend a lot of time with my mother, and as I grow older now, and being 57, a lot of her perspective, while it was good, and I adored her, a lot of it was, I felt I got a skewed perspective. Because as I grew older and my father re-entered my life again, I got to learn a lot about him.
Okay, well listen, I gotta run for a break. I'm very late, but appreciate the call. All right, it's 21 minutes after 8. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. If you're on hold, stand by. Every line on the board is lit, and if you're new to the program, all the calls are screenless. I don't answer these calls in advance. I don't know who's on hold. I don't know where they're coming from. We do not use a call screener here on this program as other shows do. Everyone, when they call in, are put on hold without anyone answering the phone, and I take them cold. So I don't know what's coming at me. Maybe they're going to agree with me. Maybe they're pissed off. Hopefully they're pissed. But, I'm going to take the calls after the break. All right? Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977. My name's Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. The Steve Kane 2022 MAGA Cruise is a go, leaving January 21st on the Celebrity Equinox out of Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, 9 nights cruising the Caribbean. We will stop in Grand Cayman Island, Bonaire, Curacao, and Aruba. Reserve your cabin right now and call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh, yeah, and we got big, huge news over the weekend. You've seen the news. Royal Caribbean is not requiring vaccinations to go on cruises out of Florida. Ron DeSantis won. And what a lot of you may not know, our Steve Kane listener cruises are on Celebrity Cruise Line. Celebrity Cruise Line is owned by Royal Caribbean. It's the luxury cruise line for Royal Caribbean. So they are Royal Caribbean. That means to join Steve Kane and me on our 9-day fun trip through the Caribbean, no vaccinations required. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Join us, guys. 561-244-5779. All right, back to our very busy phones. You're on the radio. Good morning. What's your name?
Brian, Robert Penson, Kentucky.
Hey, Robert in Kentucky.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call in, but I heard you made a comment about President Trump running for House of Representatives. That's the greatest thing.
Well, not just running for the House, winning the House seat, and then getting elected Speaker by the Republican House majority and becoming Speaker of the House. That's awesome.
Yeah, for real. Isn't Matt Gaetz from Florida?
Yes.
What if Matt Gaetz stepped up and ran for the Senate? And then President Trump.
No, that's no good because we already got 2 Republicans. We got Little Marco and Rick Scott. We already got 2 Republican senators in Florida. So now's not the time. I mean, I'd rather have Matt Gaetz as our senator than Little Marco, but no, that's not the way to go. But you know, we got. Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. And of course, Speaker of the House, President Trump, that'd be a big title, would immediately begin impeachment proceedings against Biden for all of his corruption.
That would cause reverberations all over the world if he did.
Oh man, how historic that would be.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on.
You know, there have been presidents that have gone back to Congress and done other things. That you know, so this is not unusual. John Adams was in the House after he was president. No, he didn't become Speaker as President Trump would become, but it's been done. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Chris?
Yes. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just saying that guy is worrying about the wrong thing, and I believe in Hawaii, you don't have to have a parent's signature to even get the vaccine. Abortion, birth control, sex change. So, I mean, he's worrying about the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, listen, my experience with people I've knew, because, you know, I know people that are divorced that have kids, okay? And there's always some petty thing they're arguing about. They always hide behind the kids, but it's never about the kids. They're pissed off. The dad's pissed off. He's got to pay child support. The wife's pissed off because dad's got a new girlfriend. And they always, the kids. It's all lies.
Yeah, it's the government trying to split everybody from everything. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think I was too hard on the guy?
You know what? Everybody's story is different, and basically, I think if you don't want your feelings hurt, you shouldn't call and put it out there.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. You guys call me. You know what I'm about. I mean, I give everybody a hard time. I think I am very fair and balanced. I think I give. I don't care what, because someone's MAGA doesn't mean I'm not going to question them and say, well, you know, you can live whatever life you want to live as long as you got a MAGA hat on. That's crazy.
I think you're right with what you did. I think he's right with what he.
Maybe I've encouraged some fathers to not walk out on their families.
Well, again, everybody seems to want to have their opinion be the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not the way it works out.
Yeah.
Individuals, and we need to think of ourselves as individuals at some time, and as a group as another.
Mm-hmm.
If people look at the bigger picture and say.
And by the way, some people said, I saw somebody in the chat room during the break said, I went that direction to avoid talking to him about the vaccine. I didn't avoid talking to him about the vaccine. I told him, I said, that decision is between you, your wife, and your kids' doctors. Okay? I don't give medical advice. I am not a doctor. I do not give medical advice of any kind to anyone. Now, I might give marital advice. I might give moral advice, but you never hear me give medical advice of any kind. I might tell you what I've done, like I use hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez from the biostation, you know, but I never give anyone medical advice, ever, on anything.
You're right, you do not. And I think a lot of people appreciate that. And right now, with this thing with the divorce thing, I think we have an abundance of people that have been divorced. And a lot of people feel that one way or the other, oh, we'll get through it. The kids will get through it one way or the other. They'll get this, they'll get that.
What's the number one reason people get divorced?
Right, it's probably because they had an affair.
I'm not talking about that guy. Although he was uncomfortable, he didn't want to tell us why. But
I think what he's also trying to say, in a different picture, is that, yeah, he got a divorce because he was seeing somebody else, but the reason why he was seeing somebody else was he wasn't happy in his marriage.
Oh, please. You know, it's like a Lifetime movie. You know, I watch these Lifetime movies, right? And they're either about they're either about the man having the affair or the wife having the affair. Lifetime. I watch Lifetime movies with my wife. They're fun to watch. And if the husband's having an affair, it tells it like it is. He's a creep, you know. But if the wife is having an affair on Lifetime, they always justify it. Oh, well, he's not home enough. Why? Because he's working 80 hours a week, maybe. They always have a reason why it's okay for the wife to have the affair in those Lifetime movies. If you notice, if you ever watch them.
And again, it's put out there to split the.
Listen, men as a group, there's always exceptions to every rule. As a group, men, not just in marriage, even when they're teenage boys and are dating, okay? A male will not leave a relationship typically unless he's got something else lined up.
Yep.
I'm a guy, I can tell you. That's how men, that's how teenage boys and young men are. You know? Women is a different story. But you know, but men will not typically leave a relationship unless they either got something else lined up or they got something in their mind where they're going to make a move to line something up. But that's how it is.
Yeah, you're right.
And how am I not the conservative when I'm saying a guy's role is to stay at home and take care of his family, not walk out on him and live in another town and brag about all the child support you pay, but I'm the one that's not conservative? Are you kidding me?
Well, he better check with the school system because there's probably a lot of things that he doesn't realize that's been going on at him or his.
I mean, I wonder, you got the kids, they're about 16 or something like this. Does he get involved to find out if the wife has any of them on the pill? I mean,
that TV something shot.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's for sexually transmitted disease. Did he okay that?
No.
That's been controversial long before.
Come on. I got to tell you, I know so many people, at my age, there's when most divorces happen between 40 and 50 because, 40 to 55. And the reason is they figure I'm still young and good looking enough to find somebody. You know what I mean? So my wife and I, some of our friends have been divorced and they have kids. And they're always at each other's throats and they always are acting as if it's the kids. They're just pissed off at each other. Wife's got a new boyfriend, right? The husband's got a new car and she's driving an old minivan, and he's driving something else. But it's the kids. It's always the kids, but it's never the kids. If it was the kids, they would have stayed together.
And they would have had more if they were together than...
Exactly. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. I'm going to take our break here for the bottom of the hour, although a few minutes late. There's only one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
At noon weekdays, turn your radio to Richard Pearl on Politics. Unfiltered, unapologetic, always controversial. Richard Pearl tells it like it is. No topic is off limits. This is talk radio like it should be. You've known him as a master of nutraceuticals. Now, listen to Richard Pearl as you've never heard him before. Richard Pearl on Politics. High noon weekdays on this radio station. Be there. Attention seniors, Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will make all of your doctor's appointments for you, handle your pharmacy issues, including refills, billing problems. They'll even make sure your prescriptions are filled. They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications, and that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right now, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Online, IWillAdvocates.com. Never worry about your health care ever again. Let I Will Advocates handle everything for you. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on
37 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be back with us tomorrow. Every line on the board is lit. Something I said? Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Yeah, Listen, my name is Weezy.
Oh, hey, Weezy.
I'm going to get you your support back, and I'm going to get them off your back.
Well, if you're going to agree with me, wait a second, Weezy. If you're going to agree with me, I may have to rethink what I've said. Yes.
I agree with you. I said I'm going to get the people to stop calling your names and being mean at you. They'll all take that and start bringing it towards me instead of you then, and you'll get your...
Oh, you're jealous. You want them angry at you. People are angry at me. So you're jealous. So you want hate.
But listen, number one, this is my opinion, not your opinion, mine. The reason they're mad is, see that little Abbott and Costello routine that you do with me and take my words and twist them? Today you did it with a white Trump supporter. That's why they're mad at you. That's the reason they're mad, because they're used to you doing it to...
well, maybe they're mad at me. Maybe they're mad at me because, excuse me, maybe they're mad at me because I'm white. You know, everything's racist to you. Maybe it's because I'm white and they're black.
It's because you did that to a white person. You do it to me and everybody all the time. You did to a Trump supporter and they didn't like it this time. Now listen to this though. The reason I'm talking about this too, you made up me a life. You said, I have kids. I have one child, 17. You told the people the other day that I am married to a doctor.
I thought you told me that. I think you told me that. You told me that.
I told you my husband has a construction.
Oh.
I live...
Well, okay, that's not a lie. Excuse me, Wheezy. That's not a lie. That's called being mistaken. You understand the difference?
Made my whole life up. You just told him I had...
No. There's a difference between... knowingly lying and being mistaken. You understand that, correct? Like if you ask me to do a math... If you give me a math problem and I get the answer wrong, was I mistaken or did I lie?
Okay, but why did you tell them that then?
Well, I thought you told me that. I was mistaken. Her husband's not a doctor, a dentist. He's in the construction business. Oh my gosh, enough, Wheezy. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, it's Juan from Coral Springs. How are you?
All right, Coral Springs. What's up?
Yeah, hey, listen, I gotta stand with those two guys. I mean, you can ask me any question you want, and it's going to be politically correct, and it's going to be actually correct. I mean, there's as many divorces as there are. There's that many reasons. By the way, Veronica, she is such a good caller.
She's a great caller.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, she is. You know, and marriage is something that you got to work at every day, which I'm sure you do too. But the bottom line is you can't be dismissive about people's opinion because, you know, when you get the divorce, now it's in the hands of somebody else, a judge. And they don't know everything. They don't always get it right. And, you know, I understand your perspective, Brian, but then, you know, there's other perspectives also that need to be, you know, listened to. Those guys, whether they had a girlfriend or not, I'm not saying that that's the correct thing to do. I mean, I would never, not to be completely honest, you know, my marriage now is working out great. One marriage, and I have changed because I take self-inventory. And lately, Brian, my last point, you have been more wrong than right. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is.
Wrong about what?
Well, you're wrong about what, you know, the guys that called earlier today that were divorced, you know, being somewhat judgmental and, you know, that...
The first couple callers, I'm wrong, the one guy wanted to punch me. He said he was going to come down here and hit me.
That's wrong.
Okay. The other guy from Kentucky, right? Think about what he said to me. He's been divorced twice. He asks me a question. Is alcoholism a disease? I said I don't know the answer to that. I know a lot of people say that. It sounds like a way to take responsibility from drinking too much. Oh, I have a disease. You know, I have a disease. I can't help that I'm drunk all the time. But he tells me his first wife, he left his first wife, didn't want to tell us why he left the second one, but he left the first wife because she was an alcoholic. And I said, well, what about in sickness and in health? If it's a disease, you walked out during a sickness. Then he got triggered.
But you also have to understand that, marriage is a contract. And I'm not saying to walk out. I mean, if you walk out on adultery, if you walk out as a result of a disease, it doesn't make it right. You got to stick there with your partner.
This is what I think. I think if you get divorced, and you let your spouse raise your kids, and you come in for fun on the weekend, and send a check every month. But it's the others. It's the other. Your ex is taking them to the doctors, making sure they have their health taken care of, make sure they have dinner every night, breakfast every morning, lunch at school, and then you come in. All of a sudden, you want to be involved in doctors' decisions. I think that's a little crazy. All of a sudden, out of the blue.
I don't think that was a decision that he got to make.
Well, I tried to get it out of him. He didn't want to tell us.
That's another story, but that's...
Well, why do you... Why do you think he didn't want to tell us why his marriage failed?
Yeah, I mean, when you call a radio show,
nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows who he is. I don't even know his name, first name. Nobody knows who he is.
What I'm saying to you is...
It has everything to do with it. And I've been doing this a long time. You're a long-time listener. If his wife had done something that caused the marriage to end, he would have told me. Probably. The fact that he didn't want to tell me tells me that he was uncomfortable.
So what's that?
Why would a guy be uncomfortable?
Well, why not? I mean, a divorce is not something that anybody brags about, Brian.
No, he was bragging about it. He called and told me on the radio that he had gotten divorced 10 years ago. He was asking me what I thought his rights and responsibilities were and what avenues he had. And the reason I asked him about the divorce and everything was not to mock him, not to give him grief, okay? I was getting to information about how much rights should this guy really have with his kids, how involved has he been? That's what I was getting to.
Those are great questions, but this vaccination thing, that's something that's highly personal. And, for whatever reason he decides not to get his kids vaccinated, again, it's...
Yeah, but I didn't call him and say, hey, what about your kid? He called me about it. So he called me, I tell him what I think. How am I the bad guy here? If I were randomly calling people, hey, what about your kids getting the vax? What are you going to do? Then I'd be a lunatic. He called me and asked my opinion, and I gave him my opinion. How am I the bad guy here?
No, you're not. I'm not saying that you're the bad guy. I'm just saying that, what he called you...
And why is nobody pissed off at this one guy that was going to beat me and leave me in a closet? After he beat me, he was going to beat me. He said he was going to beat me and leave me in a closet. Why is no one upset at that guy? Calling people on the radio saying they're going to beat me and leave me in a closet.
That is absolutely wrong.
Well, nobody has any issues with him. What happened to Sticks and Stone? Only because I brought it up. You called in with grief about me, as these other callers. No one said, hey, that guy that wants to give you a beat down. I've been physically assaulted by listeners many times over the years, and you longtime listeners know this, and there's been other things that have happened that some of you know about that I don't talk about on the air. A guy calls in, says he's going to beat me and leave me in a closet, and nobody takes issue with him, and everybody in the chat room is pissed at me? Come on. Listen, I got to run for a break, Juan. I'm already late. We'll be back. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Don't go anywhere.
Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare...
You're going to be the next and probably last caller of the day, so just to let you know.
7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
at noon weekdays. Turn your radio to Richard Pearl on Politics. Unfiltered, unapologetic, always controversial. Richard Pearl tells it like it is. No topic is off limits. This is talk radio like it should be. You've known him as a master of nutraceuticals. Now, listen to Richard Pearl as you've never heard him before. Richard Pearl on Politics. High noon weekdays on this radio station. Be there.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, it's the first gold report of the week with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated right here in Boca Raton. Good morning, William Youngerman.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I know the metals are doing great just by the way you said how you doing. I could tell.
Yeah, the metals have found good stability even after taking a nice hit and giving us a great buying opportunity last week. Gold getting down to about $1,856 and then recovering on Friday all the way back up to $1,892, which was up $21.20 on Friday. Closing out the week also, silver was up 38 cents at $27.81 the ounce, while platinum closed up $6 at $1,162, and palladium was up $2 at $2,740. This morning we got gold just a little bit lower, 1886.50. That's down $5.50. Silver down 21 cents at $27.60 the ounce. Platinum up $8 at $1,170, while palladium is up $30 at $2,770. The 10-year bond just a little over 1.57, so the yields are coming down. The U.S. dollar index was still above 90.1 this morning, and Bitcoin at $36,500. So the metal's finding good support and finding on any dips that they just get bought up very quickly. So as we've told Steve Kane listeners for years, make sure you take advantage of any dips in the metal. That's to buy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt about that. And don't forget, with Father's Day just a couple weeks away, William Youngerman has great items for Father's Day, great jewelry items, watches, rings that are priced very well at just about the metal price, and also great collectibles over there, old money, old coins, all kinds of cool things that Dad would love on his day. Now, William Youngerman is open Monday through Friday. They open weekdays at 10 a.m., located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road, right here in Boca Raton, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. The number over there, 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010, and online, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, I also want to remind everyone.
Yes.
Travel opening up all around the world now. We are seeing a lot of new customers coming in for foreign exchange. We have, of course, over 60 different currencies that we our currency exchange deals in. So make sure you.
That's right, and they're in stock, on hand. You can walk out with them in most cases. All right, take care, and again, we'll talk tomorrow.
Have a great day.
All right, you too, you too. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Oh, Gloria. Hey.
Hey, Gloria.
I want to say I appreciate your sternness towards that guy, because a lot of these men, I married, divorced twice. They both played around on me. I was 8 months pregnant first time around. So let me tell you, I'm very proud that you stand up for your morals. Now, we have no morals in this world. And as far as the shot goes, it's all a fake.
Yeah.
Weapon.
Yeah. All right, now she's going off on different things. She's going on a rant. Never take medical advice from a radio talk show host. Talk to your doctor, people, and that is a disclaimer, but it is talk to your doctor. You decide what to do. That's what I do with my medical decision. Now, this is a big deal. I've made this announcement a couple times. I got to tell you guys. Royal Caribbean announced over the weekend. I've known about this for quite some time, and I've not been able to share it with you because I had to wait for the official announcement to come out. But Royal Caribbean announced over the weekend that the vaccination will not be needed for cruising. And this is all because of our great governor, Ron DeSantis, by the way. There are some cruises that are going like out of Washington State, I was reading today, like Seattle. They have to get vaccinated out there. Here in Florida, Ron DeSantis stood up to the cruise industry, no vaccine passport, no vaccine to join us on the cruise. And we're going on this 9-day cruise. We leave on a Friday, return the following Sunday, Steve Kane and I, we are planning incredible activities on board the ship. Our live talk show that we do on every cruise, this one's going to be the best yet. Steve and I are going to be on a stage together in one of the theaters, and it's going to be a no holds barred talk show talking about all the things that you'll never hear us talk about on the radio. We're going to Aruba. We're going to the Grand Cayman Island in the Cayman Islands. We're going to Curacao. We're going to Bonaire. We're leaving out of Fort Lauderdale. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot. I know a lot of you have been waiting on whether or not you're going to have to get vaccinated to go on the cruise. Now we know you don't. And we're leaving in January. 561, this is Ian's number of Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And I'm looking forward to it because I need a vacation. I need one today, but we can't go till January. But it's going to be a good time, I tell you. We're so lucky to have Ron DeSantis as our governor. You know, I was talking earlier about, President Trump's speech, on Saturday night, which was just a spectacular speech. It was one of his best. And, and he was talking about the importance of these midterms, and he was talking about 2024. And when I was watching President Trump on Saturday night, that's a man who's running for president. No doubt in my mind that he's running for president. And you know what? The liberal media think he's running for president too, the mainstream media, or they would have carried it. They didn't carry it because they know he's running. And, I believe he's running because, I don't mean my theory is that he's running because, I said in his heart, the reason Trump is running is he understands that he is the only one who can defeat this swamp, stop this Republican establishment. Do you know, September is right around the corner. We're 20 years into this war on terror, 20 years into it. I know Trump wound it down quite a bit. They're bringing a lot of troops home. But this business has been going on for 2 decades, America's longest war. And you got these Republican establishment people that are pissed off that we're bringing all the troops home from Afghanistan still. It's easy for Liz Cheney to say. Easy for her to say. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And, he was talking about reparations from China. Now all of a sudden the left are against reparations. That very well may be what his campaign is based around, is the reparations from China, the main theme. The wall is almost done. So, and Biden may be forced to finish the wall before 2024 comes around. Because what Kamala's doing in Guatemala is going to make things worse. Going to make things worse. There's going to be more caravans coming over the summer to try to get more money out of the United States through Kamala. I was talking at the beginning of the show, you saw the story that Air Force 2 took off and immediately had to return, that they had some problems. Right? Air Force 2 took off and had to return to Edwards. Then they took off again for Guatemala. And the reason that Air Force 2 took off and had to return is because Kamala forgot the checkbook. They had to fly back and get the checkbook before she went to Guatemala, because she's writing out some big old checks. And that's what it's all about. All right, now at noon weekdays on our radio stations, it's Richard Pearl on politics. And here's the man, Richard Pearl. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty scary. They would even suggest such a crazy idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Now listen, Richard Pearl's show is on our radio stations at 12 noon weekdays. That's AM 1470, 95.3 FM, and 96.9 on the FM radio dial. And those of you around the country can listen to Richard Pearl on the iHeart Radio app and the TuneIn app. Just search for our station call letters WWNN. Richard Pearl's on noon to 1, Monday through Friday, right here. So check that out. His store, Simply Natural, is located in the city of Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. And the number over there, 954-741-4045. 954-741-4045. Have a great show today, Richard Pearl. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, guys, take care. We'll be back live at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you could all like the video, I'd appreciate that. If you are new to the show, subscribe. And I did put a link. I pinned it to the top of the chat with this awesome shirt my wife made, 0% Liberal, which I think is a really cool shirt. I could wear this shirt every day. I love this shirt. Maybe I'll wash it when I get home today and wear it again. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, all right? Take care. If I can shut the feed down. There we go.